Coach, how's the heart doing after that game? That came right down to the end.
It did, and I just thought, obviously we missed a lot of open shots, and proud of our guys for sticking with it, even though we saw all those shots miss. I mean, open shots, shots that normally go in and out, and we just grinded it out. So very, very satisfied. We took a lot of hard punches, from Purdue Northwest, and they played well, and it didn't surprise us because we studied the film. We know that they have a lot of talent on their roster, but just excited. I mean, Thursday we're rolling, right, especially in the first half, but it's games like this that coaches are the most proud of because we weren't rolling. We just grinded. We stayed together, overcame adversity. Just some of those putback rebounds were big, and just some momentum plays and guys sticking with it. So very satisfying, and a lot of teams find a way to lose these games because it wasn't our night, but we did it.
And conversely, you mentioned that you were having trouble hitting shots, and in Purdue Northwest, they were hitting shots. They came out blistering. I think they hit their first 5 or 6 from outside the three-point line. And just talk about the start that they got off to and how it really maybe gave them some confidence coming in down the stretch of the first half and then into the second half.
Well, it really wasn't even their main shooters, their top shooters. So, but listen, when you're open, you can make them. It doesn't matter who you are. And I don't think we were covering them real well. And then when you see him go through, you're on fire. Now you got to test the wind. The basket gets bigger. I mean, it really does mentally. Obviously, physically, it's staying the same, but mentally, the next one's going in. They had that rhythm for a long time before we could, before we could stop them. The thing about playing Boomers teams is they like the press. They like it. So if we don't sprint back, it's a problem. But yet, if we don't press, our energy's kind of gone. So it's a catch-22 with this team and how they like to play. So it's a real challenge. And we accepted the challenge today and came out on top. So fired up.
At one point of the game in the second half, I told Rob, I said, Dorian Aloui's putting the team on his back because he was getting it done inside, getting it done outside, hustle plays. Talk about his play, his contribution, especially down the stretch in the second half.
Well, it's why we try to build like we try to build. To say we're surprised, we're not, because we know who he is and what he can do. And today it was his day, and we went to him and he came through. And I thought Greg played well. I thought a lot of guys showed grit, and we don't have a grit column here on the box score that we stare at, but I really thought we had it today, and I was proud of that. But Dorian, 0 turnovers, 24 and 14. I mean, and some of those shots were tough. And I thought it was one of the more physical games we've played in a while because consistently the bumps were being let go, right? Consistently both sides, but we didn't even get them into the bonus, I don't think. So it was just physical, and he's a physical player, so he thrived in it.
Yeah, that was certainly his environment, and 3 of 24 from outside the three-point line for you guys, which is obviously not characteristic of what you guys like to do, but you found ways to get baskets.
We found ways. I mean, the offensive glass was good to us. 20 offensive rebounds, and it's nice that we have guys that go to the glass. I will say we do train them to do that, and we needed it because we missed a lot of shots. So there's a lot of opportunities, and we got them and put them back in. And we won the turnover battle. We took care of the ball. I was proud of our guys because Purdue Northwest, they caused a lot of turnovers with their pressure. They're up in you, and we really took care of the ball. So there was a lot of categories that we really won. When you look at our keys to the game on the board, we won a lot of those keys, and that's why we pulled it out.
And now your gift for pulling it out is you get to go on the road to Ashland and you get to go on the road to Wayne State. Just talk about that briefly coming up here because it doesn't get any easier in the GLIAC.
No, another road trip, and the way I look at it, it's just fun being on the road with this team. It's just fun hanging out with the guys, and we'll tackle those challenges one at a time, and we'll start to study those teams. But it's not easy to win on the road. My guess is they're going to look a lot like this game, and we're going to have to make a couple plays down the stretch, and we're going to have another hero like Dorian was today, and G, and it'll probably be somebody else for us because we got a lot of guys that are capable of stepping up and waking up on the right side of the bed.
There we go. Sounds good. Coach Bronkema, thank you. Congratulations on the win.